What's up? I'm going to MPMC Trade Conference next week, and we're going to talk about it. Now, I know that it is really late, really late. um, well, it depends on where you're at. If you're here in Michigan, it's very late. If you are on the West Coast, it's not that late. Uh, now, this doesn't look very good. The video quality, probably the audio quality. Um, Today has been an interesting day for me. This is my third spot to attempt to do this tonight. Um, and it's the first time it's worked. And I have to use my phone as a camera. So we are live on YouTube and we are live on Facebook. Um, yeah, we're going to have a little bit of fun. I think I have a splinter in my sweatshirt. I literally did. Um, yeah, we've had technical difficulties, a long day. My feet are still frozen. I've been working outside. I've been working in the pole barn trying to get some stuff done, get ready to leave for California. Wearing a hat because it's freezing cold. So, yeah. If you guys can hear me, just let me know. I would appreciate it. But I want to talk a little bit about the MPMC conference and why you guys should care that I get to go and why I get to do this. Okay. And I want to thank some of the companies that are going to meet with me. Now, I am going to attempt to go live, do some video stuff over the next couple days before I leave, but it's going to be very, very busy for me. So, um, yeah. Now, I do have a 5 hour flight out there, 5.5 hour flight or so. And I am planning on editing videos as I fly out there. So, yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, Travis, video quality is good, audio quality is less than good. Um, Let me actually try something. Hopefully, this works well. Let me know if that changed at all. I have a earbud in, which I think has a microphone in it, so it might have been going through that. Yeah. Now, like I said, the next 2 days are a little bit crazy. Trying to get ready to go. Got vehicle I'm working on before I leave. I've got some drafting and 3D printing we're trying to get done. A couple orders to get caught up on. Which, if you guys do order something from the Rebel Drive shop, as you can see up there in the corner, don't worry, the wife will be sending things out. So orders will still be coming and going as they should be. Okay. Um, but still to get clothes around, things like that. I've been doing the research that I need to do, trying to get things around for the actual meetings that we're going to have. And I'm attempting to get everything done so that I can spend Sunday uh, with my kids. To be honest with you, that's the goal, is to be able to spend Sunday with the wife and kids before I leave. I'm flying out Sunday night, so that is kind of the plan. All right, let's try this. Let's try. We're gonna unfold the microphone a little bit there and see. So we're trying. We're trying to make it a little better for you, right? Yeah. So what is the MPMC Trade Conference? Basically, the MPMC stands for Motorsports Parts Manufacturing Council. It is a council for SEMA. If you don't know what SEMA is, well, SEMA is massive. You'll have to look into it a little bit. Specialty Equipment Manufacturers Association. Okay. Um, so a council is for, in SEMA, is for companies and organizations, basically. And so what this trade conference is for the Motorsports Parts Manufacturing Council, the actual council, it's a bunch of manufacturers. And the purpose of this trade show is that it is a media only event. And basically, myself is classified as media because we do this. And Travis Black, who's watching this on YouTube, met him last year at the MPMC conference, YouTube, creator.
media, right? Now, Hot Rod was there. Um, I sat and had lunch last year with Freiberger. Um, so like the traditional Speedway Illustrated was there last year. So the traditional like print media, um, digital media, TV showy kind of things that they all go to. I never thought my name would be on the same list as like Hot Rod magazine and stuff like that, right? Um, but the beauty of this event is that it is just media and the companies, and they actually set up meetings. So we have blocked out meetings. And basically, it's at the Embassy Suites in Anaheim, and the companies will set up in a room. And the Embassy Suites cool part is it's a suite, so like you have the front room, which is like a little living room basically, and then bedrooms and all that. So they said um, the media will go from room to room to room to meet with the different companies, and their goal, what they say, and this was the part that I had no idea about last year. It's not for soliciting, is the way they say. Well, basically, it's not for me to try to sell ad space, right? And this harkens back. This conference has been happening for a long time, so you know, social media people, content creators, and stuff. Um, we're new to this, whereas it's been going on a long time. Well, so like Speedway Illustrated, just use this as an example. They're not doing this just as an example. It's a print magazine. You know, they're not going into the room and be like, all right, so we'll sell you a full page ad for this, right? That's not what's happening. Okay, that's what they don't want to prevent. But what it is if we can go in and say, hey, I have this project, and here's how you could help me, right? So it's something like that. Now, some of these big time creators and stuff like that, like that's kind of exactly what they're doing. They're going into these meetings locked and loaded. They have a project list. Here's project that I have. Here's the videos that I have made. Here's the stuff we're doing, and these are the parts that of yours we could put on the car, or the project or whatever. That's not my intent. It happened a little bit last year. There were some companies that we were able to partner with. Um, Optima batteries. I got a little bit out of them. Um, Specialty parts. I got a They go by, they have a different Specialty Auto Parts USA, but it's Proform. Proform sent me some stuff. You guys see me use some of that. Um, Aeromotive. Um, my mind is it's late, so my mind's kind of blanked slightly. But these were some of the corporations that were like, yeah, like we'd love to do it. Let's send you some stuff, Um, and so it's a case of we were able to do that, but for me, the biggest part of MPMC, this is that affects you guys and gals, and this is the thing why you I say you should care that I'm going and we get to do this, but more like how this does affect you and how this could be a positive thing for you and for the sport. Um, there was a lot of companies and corporations that I talked to last year that just had no idea we existed. They didn't know front wheel drive stock car racing was a thing at all. Like the idea of it didn't even cross their mind. Um, so some of these companies and some of the, you know, they already have existing products that we're using. I'm not going to call anybody out by name here because I don't want this to sound negative in any way. But there was a corporation that I talked to, and through the conversation, like, oh, that's so awesome, and what you raised, and how many of you are there, and what are the rules and stuff like that, which is a huge conversation we had. I had in almost every room. um, but the really cool part about this is that this manufacturer, um, they had had a couple parts that had seen this sudden resurgence, and they didn't know why, because the platform wasn't it was dead as per se. It wasn't the platform wasn't being made anymore. Um, and like they were they were in the process of phasing it out. It was on the list to be phased out. Um, but then like sales had, and then they started going back up. Well, what it was us. It was front wheel drive stock car racing. Um, we we are the reason that their product was selling. And they didn't know we existed. They didn't know it was a thing. They didn't know people did that. Um, or like they'd seen like bump and run kind of stuff, and they didn't know that you could have like that this was a thing, right? And that was the part, and that was the part for you guys and gals that's important. Some of these companies have the capability to put products and services into our segment of the market. Um, and it's awesome, to be honest, that they care. When I go out there, I go in the room, and it was kind of neat to see the different level of preparedness that some of the manufacturers had. Um, a lot of them that I went into, and this is not a negative thing. Okay, this is not a knock. Some of them that I went into, they're like, "Yeah, awesome, thanks for being here. So tell us your numbers, like what kind of follower account you have, stuff like that." Like now, they might have just been asking, but I don't honestly think they had done a lot of research. It was a come get to know us as we get to know you kind of thing, right? And but they also didn't place that big of emphasis on followers and things like that, right? There was a couple rooms that I walked into where, if you're watching this on YouTube, probably see my follower account. It's about 500, give or take. Here on Facebook, we're at almost 9,000. It's not a lot. Um, I think we have about 50 on Instagram. Um, but I was talking to one creator, and like, oh, well, what is it that you do? And check out, because that's the other kind of new things you get to interact with some of these um uh other people, right? But we were talking, and I pulled up his Instagram because that was where he primarily did. Had almost 500,000 followers. Um, so he had like something like 480,000. I'm talking like there was a couple of rooms that like Hot Rod had two or three groups of media that were going around the room, and I followed them into a room a couple times. Like they would leave and I would enter. And Hot Rod, like you know, uh, we don't have to. Hot Rod isn't based on followers, right? But these corporations and companies that I walk into, they treated me like I had 500,000 followers, like on Hot Rod Magazine. Um, Now, obviously, you know, 9,000 followers isn't going to give me the same level of attention as Hot Rod, obviously, right? But they were open to hearing what I talked about, and they were open to you guys, my audience. Because the fun part about this was I got to talk about you guys. Obviously, not like watching this, maybe him, but not you, right? Um, but I got to explain just how many of us there are, how far across the country, across the world there are of us, and how underserved we are. Um, you know, Last year I was the only one going out there that was dealing with this. This year I'm pretty sure I'm going to be the same. Um, as you guys probably know, there's some people who make content from, you know, there's some front wheel drive people who make content, but not in the way that I do. Not I'm dedicated to this. Uh, so I can go into these rooms and share, like, look, we are so underserved in every facet, you know. Um, how many content creators are making stuff about dirt late models or dirt sprint cars or modifieds, or like there's a bunch of creators. There's nobody doing this. Even in the creator space, we're underserved. I don't want to be the only one. I want to be one of. I want to be like the best or the biggest or something. Like let's be real, right? But I don't want. I don't need to be the only one. Okay. Um, but I get to explain to them that I have this follower account that's only this big, right? But you can look at my videos and you can look at the views for my videos and the like retention for my videos. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm doing this at midnight. This is me sitting in front of some curtains. This is not going to be a highly viewed video. And that's okay, right? Some of my tech videos, some of my interview videos, like I can show here's the numbers that I have, and overall, like here's here's what I have. Here's my numbers, and it is insane for how small we are. Like for how small From Discussions. Talking to some of the creators that I talk to out there, most of them would not have anything to do with Facebook because, like, it's crazy how all of because so many of them it's about ad revenue or you know uh, like there's just a lot to it where Facebook was on nobody's radar, right? So for me to be able to do the view in Facebook, let's be honest, Facebook's presses, like they really do, and it's because they want me to pay to put me in front of more people, right? Um, but it is a case of like the numbers that I could do show how much you guys are engaged and how rabid of a fan base front wheel drive racing has. And that caught the attention of a lot of big people, big companies and big corporations. Like it's insane, you know. It blows. I didn't know that, by the way. I didn't know how my numbers compared to other people. I could see what I was doing and I could see the visible statistics that some other people, but being able to actually compare, right? As most of you are well aware, I have an affiliate deal with uh, Driven Racing Oil, right? Uh, which this is one I have some of these. So this is their extreme pressure chassis grease. We're going to use some more of their other products here soon, right? But I'm an affiliate deal through Driven Racing, which, by the way, quick little thing. If you guys went to use the uh, code, which is the FWD10, by the way, if you went to use it in the last few weeks and it didn't work, try it again. There was a glitch. The code only goes for so long and then it'll stop. And they just missed doing it. So it's been reinstated. We're good. Everything's great with them. But in talking with Driven, the amount of times my code has been used uh, compared to some influencers with 10, 20, 30, 100 times the following, I'm ahead of a lot of them. I sell more Driven than a lot of their other influencers, which is awesome. Obviously not the base ones, because there's some people that have a lot bigger following, right? But I can go to some of these other companies and I can say, here's how much I've done for them. And let's be honest, Driven is kind of a niche product for us, right? The oil, right? But like there's a lot of their other stuff we can't necessarily use. But some of the other companies that I deal with, that I talk to, and that they have a lot bigger offerings. So one company that I met with last year that we're going to meet with again this year is um, my, it is late. You got to bear with me just a little bit, right? They, they are not on my. Okay, we're reading with this here, but more for example, let's just go with um, like Aeromotive, right? So we're meeting with Aeromotive again this year. Um, they have a little bit larger product range that will work for what we do. They have Honda's, they have bolt-on stuff. They have pumps, lines, fittings, filters, regulators, stuff like that, like a bigger setup, right? So theoretically, we could sell more Aeromotive stuff because they have more of a product range, right? Um, one company that I'm meeting with, and so just to back up slightly, one kind of neat thing about MPMC is that they have a list um, of companies, and that they say, okay, here is the companies that are coming to the trade conference this year. Um, who would you like to meet with? Okay, and basically they have this. I'm scrolling here. I'm actually going to try to find the post of. Um, so So here are the companies. I'm just going to throw these out there. These are the companies that I said I don't need to meet with, because the thing that I don't want to do is waste their time. Because there's a lot of these companies that there's just nothing that they can do for us, right? Um, so like um, ADS, Bear Brakes, Detroit Speed, Flowmaster, Hooker Blackbird, which is all just like mufflers and stuff. Didn't really need to meet with them. Um, Alden American. I forget exactly because the other part of this was I went through this list name by name by name. I looked up what they do. I looked up what they sold. I spent multiple hours pulling them up and seeing what is it that they do, and do they have products for us? And if it was even something where they remotely could have something to do with us, right? Um, I would put them in the either okay to meet or must meet, right? But like um, BMR suspension, blower drive service. Sorry guys, but not a lot of supercharged front drive stock cars racing, right? Mickey Thompson Performance Tires and Wheels, didn't meet with them. Uh, Lingenfelter Performance Engineering, Livernois Motorsports Engineering, Precision Turbo, Pro Charger, um, and then like Flaming River, I did it steering. Let's see here, Tremec. As much as I would love, Tremec does not have anything that has to deal with us. Low car, um, things like that. There's a few of these other companies in here, but they were all ones that I said, I don't need to meet with them, right? And so I didn't get a schedule with them. They didn't try to give me that schedule. And then some of them that I said would be okay to meet. Now, the other part of this is that a few of these companies that I get to meet with, it is for things like your tow rig, to be honest with you, because like one of them is Ride Tech. So Ride Tech, they do like air suspension basically. Well, they have a lot of like load leveling kits and stuff. So that would work, right? That is something that we could talk about, we could work together on for a tow vehicle, right? And then so some of these also is like I said it would be okay to meet with. So this one is a company that is new this year that I've seen that I think is going to be really neat to meet with, and it's because I hadn't heard of them, but it's just going to be interesting with what they do, and it's Speedmaster. I think that I'm going to double check. Um, so Speedmaster is basically performance warehouse uh, based out of um, over in California. And if go to the website, it is, our vision, Speedmaster, trusted and respected for its people and its products globally, right? And they make their own products a little bit, but at the same time, they also warehouse and sell stuff. And looking at it, it's one where I don't know if they actually have anything specifically that we can use right this minute, because they have their own line of blocks and rocker arms and intake manifold and connecting rods and top end kits for all V8 stuff, right? Now, the reason that I said it would be okay to meet with Speedmaster and to see if we can meet with Speedmaster, which is the cool thing is they set up a meeting with me this year, um, is that I don't know if they have anything that can actually benefit me. But because they are a parts manufacturer and like a performance warehouse kind of thing, they should know we exist. They should know we're here. They should know that we have a market for parts and for products and for services. So if nothing, if nothing that they have applies to us and they're not necessarily interested in it right now, awesome. Thank you for your time. I greatly appreciate it. Right. But maybe they go, hmm, what's your demographic? Like what kind of cars are out there? We've always thought about breaking into the K series market, about making stuff for Hondas, which I know, but told you guys this isn't about me, right? Uh, yeah, we could look at that. And there's two or three companies that I met with last year that was basically what happened, and I'm still in contact with them. We're still talking about what cars are popular, combinations, what parts and pieces and stuff like that, right? Convert your trailer bags also. Yeah, thinking about it. I have some ideas. It's actually one of those things. A small sidestep. If you guys are watching this now or later, content's been a little slow. Content's going to be a little slow for a few more weeks. And this is something I've got to explain to companies out there. My new studio, which is a shed that we are going to convert. It's a custom built, has a room that's going to be a studio. Is being built, and it'll be here after I get back from California. And then it's going to take us probably a week or so. We're going to insulate it. We're going to put some walls up. And then I'm gonna run some extension cords because I can't wire it into the house without permits and stuff, and I gotta see about getting those. But that'll be a few weeks, so that should be by the end of February at the latest. And then the pole barn electric. When I come back from California, we're gonna get the electricity hooked up in there, and once I have that, get it inspected, we are going. We are working on projects, right? So um, once I have that space, you're going to start seeing some videos and stuff that are coming out, tow rig videos, trailer videos of me working on those things because I need to work on those things. My tow rig actually, I just hauled. I'm working on a truck for a friend of mine, and I went and picked it up and hauled it, and I could hear. I when I bought my van, I knew the exhaust studs. There was one or two that had rusted and broken, and I could hear it. So I'm gonna have to do exhaust studs, possibly new manifolds and stuff like that soon. So right, so there are some videos like that that are coming. But yeah, but Speedmaster was in my okay to meet category. Anderson Components was the same. Anderson Components makes a lot of fiberglass stuff or carbon fiber stuff, and that was one where they do like some Corvette stuff. And they should know we exist. Maybe we could get some carbon fiber stuff. That'd be pretty cool. They did not want to meet with me, just fine, right? But we also have one of them that I said would be okay is Mother's Polishes. So Mother's Polishes, wax and cleaners, which is one of them where, in my head, right, Mother's Polish, hey, you guys with the dirt cars, they have some products that you guys could put on the cars that'll help the dirt fall off, to help keep them looking nice, right? Plus the tow rigs and stuff. So we're going to meet with them and see what we can do. Um, but there's a lot of companies like that I said, it's okay to meet with. I'm going to do a quick count here, just out of curiosity. 30 companies I said are in the do not meet category. 14 in the okay to meet. And then I had, this was where it gets a little deep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 41 that I said need to meet. Right now, I do not get all 41 of those. Yeah, so Vortec Engineering, Vortec Superchargers and stuff. They also do some other stuff. They didn't schedule a meeting with me, which is okay. And then Holly and Simpson and all them did not meet with me, which is okay because last year the people who actually needed to talk to weren't in those two rooms. They were in the Holly Classic trucks, that one, their other classic brands. So, and I do have a meeting with them. So we're gonna see, you know. And then one that I was hoping to meet with was actually Nanking Tire, but they actually pulled out of the event, so I'm not actually gonna be able to meet with them. But there are a few on this list of my need to meet, which because I say I need to meet with them, and they get to say whether they want to meet with me or not. So there's a few of them that we don't have meetings, which I'm going to try to actually see if I can get a meeting with them then, because I do have some gaps in the schedule, and you can kind of pop in and be like, hey, do you guys have anything available? Anything open here or there? And they can sometimes fit you in, right? So that's kind of the plan. That's kind of the hope, right? But now to pull up my actual schedule, and tell you guys about some of the companies that actually have said they want to meet with me. And these are the companies that you guys are going to see me highlight. We are going to do something for every one of these companies. So James asked, any tire companies other than Hoosier? Just me and King. That's it. So which meeting with Hoosier. I'll be honest with you guys and gals. I don't know how that meeting's going to go. I don't know what direction I'm going to try to take that meeting because black cherry soda, by the way. Not that it matters. Ford would be okay if it wasn't, but I've been overly critical of Hoosier in the last little bit for their tires and some of the way they've been doing things, and I stand on that. I do. But up until the last couple of years, I really liked what they were doing with our tires and stuff. So I want to give them the benefit of the doubt. Um, so I might go into that meeting with no expectations, good or bad, and just kind of go from the vibes. I'm going to try to go tour the plant. I've toured it once, which is pretty cool. I'm going to try to go down just to be able to kind of the behind the scenes stuff. So yeah. And James says, talked with Pierre Hoosier at PRI and felt like I was getting a run around. And yes, yeah, I've talked to Hoosier at PRI 4 or 5 times, and it's all usually the same press release level of everything's fine, everything's good. Well, it's been something you guys were doing goofy, right? And I don't like that. When I was told that, what you guys are running, not running enough camber, that's why those wear out. I have 9 degrees of camber. How much more should I run? Oh, it was probably air pressure. You were probably running way too low air pressure. I was running 28 psi. Oh, well, uh, like that's some of the stuff, and it's like, well, we haven't changed anything. It's exactly the same. They're not. Like, I've been running these tires since 2009. Um, we used to get, I used to know a 790 was wearing out and needed replaced on lap 15 out of 20 of the feature. I could run practice, qualifying, and heat race. on a 7, 8 night old tire and be within 10th of where I have been. And then in the future, it'd start to fall off at the end. Now, on the third or fourth night, they're falling off and they're wearing out and stuff like that. And there was a big stretch of time where the 790s were very consistent and you never had to worry about them. And that's changed. So, um, yeah, I don't even want to sell those tires. I that's a hard thing with me for dealing with Hoosier is because oh, we've got plenty of tires. We make a record amount of tires. Then how come I can't find any fucking 24s anywhere at all? See your flagship late model series all have tires that they can all burn through fucking 8 sets. Like, I won't lie to you. Marv says, and then they sold to Continental. Honestly, that's when everything started. In Hoosier, if you talk to them and you ask them, nothing's changed, nothing's different. Obviously, something is. And having some conversations with some people in the industry, there's a lot of high up people who don't buy the lines either. Now, I want to go into this meeting with Hoosier. I'll be 100% honest with you guys and gals. This meeting with Hoosier is the only one I feel this way about. And the reason I'm conflicted is because I don't want to go in there and be like, oh yeah, what can we do? How can we work together? How can I help promote you guys? Because I've told you guys for years now, I will not shill you guys product or a company. I don't believe. I have turned down a lot of money and a lot of product. I don't believe in it. To be dead honest with you guys, I have a meeting with Driven Racing Oil on out there. There was another couple of oil companies and additive company that are going, and I put them on the do not meet list. And it's not because I think they have a bad product, but it's because I believe in Driven, and Driven has been there the entire time, years. Because when I went to PRI, I started talking to Driven. That's how this whole relationship with Driven started. I had talked to those other oil companies before that. They didn't care about frontal discussion. Driven said, that's awesome. We would love to help. That means a lot to me. So it's not that I feel like those other companies have inferior products. It's that I have used Driven, I believe in Driven, and they have stood behind me. So it's hard for me to go into this meeting with Hoosier 3 years ago. Oh, brother, I'd have skipped into that room, right? But I can't go in there and just ask, what do you guys want me to talk about? And like, when I think there's a problem, when I'm open to exploring, I wanted to meet with Nan King, however they say, okay, they are big in the drift world. They make drift car tires, and I wanted to be like, hey, I want to let you guys know this exists, and there are hundreds of thousands of us. There's more of us than there are drifters. And if you could get us a reliable, steady supply of tires in these sizes, have something on your hands, right? Unfortunately, they were not able to attend the event. Like, they did not meet with me. They are not able to attend the event. Like, something has changed at Hoosier, and I want to give them the benefit of the doubt. But hard to do. So that's the one meeting that honestly, I think I have them the last day. Let me look. Because the way this also works, nope, I have them on the first day. I have them on Tuesday. They're my last meeting of the day, but they're, yeah. So the way this works is that I have Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I have meetings, and the first one is at 8. Actually, my first one is at 8:30. So 8:30, you have a half-hour meeting, and then you go to the next one. And then so like we have lunches at noon, and then we have a snack break at 3, and then we're done at 5:30. So the first day there's a happy hour at 5, but then the last Wednesday and Thursday you can have meetings up till 5, so till 5:30 basically. Um, and my Tuesday, so I have a meeting with. See, I have a meeting. I have 9:30, but I don't have anything there. This is my final. Did something change? Hold up, because they sent us a preliminary. Oh, I know what's it. I got asked to do a commercial for MPMC. It's pretty cool. So they're gonna film like a 10-minute interview with me, which is at 9:30 on Tuesday. So, but so my 8:30 is with the Raleigh Performance, which they make like coolers and stuff like that, and fans. That was one for me that I'm kind of interested in oil cooler stuff, but I'm gonna talk to them about like the way we might be able to work together would be like some tow rig stuff, right? But then I have a 9 o'clock meeting with PRW Industries, which I have to double check PRW Industries. They're out in California. They make engine parts. So like they do like flywheels and stuff like that. So they were one too where I am not sure that they actually do make products for us in particular, like specifically, but I do want to let them know that we exist, right? But um, that is my 9 o'clock, and then at 10:30 I have Proform. 11 o'clock is DPI Off Road Brands, which that's another one that's going to be a tow rig type of thing because they are like DPI. Um, they are like Daystar. I think I'm double checking here. Yeah, so they're Daystar, HCR Racing, Leveling Solutions. There's Nitro Gear and Axle, Scorpion Extreme Products, Toy Tech Lifts, Tough Country, and Voodoo Off Road. So they're another one that's like leveling kits and stuff like that. Daystar and that really is like Jeep is a big one. So yeah, and and listen, I'm gonna list off these companies. Last year there was like 5 that we worked together. So when I talk about all of these, there's a bunch of them that I might get nothing from. We might get something from. So yeah. But then I have Granatelli Motorsports, Lunch, Center Force Clutches, which is a kind of cool thing. I have 3 clutch manufacturers that we're going to talk to. The Center Force Clutches, Flex the Light, Stable. They agreed to meet with me, so we're going to go talk to Stable. Snack Break, and then we have Hawk Performance. We're going to talk brake pads. And you guys listen. I know that you guys know Carbo Tech guy. Okay, Hawk met with me last year. So we talked. We didn't quite make it where we could work together. I'll be honest with you. I think the guy that I was talking to somehow changed positions or something, and I kind of lost my contact. But that's okay, right? And then we have Hoosier Racing Tire. So that's my first day. The second day starts off early with a company that this is like the one meeting that I asked for. That is so I can talk to the guy that's there and not necessarily the company, and that's Iski Racing Camp. So Iskadarian. Talked to him last year. They don't do front wheel drive stuff. They're not interested in getting into it. They know what their core audience, core products and stuff are. They're big inch drag motors. They do circle track stuff. Like they're V8s. They want to stay V8s. But Nolan, who is like he's Iskadarian and he's one step below Ed. Is a big part of MPMC and SEMA and stuff, and I actually want to go talk to Nolan. So McLeod Racing, which Monday we're going to go tour the McLeod facility. So went out there last year. What I filmed turned out to not be good. So they're giving me another chance. So we get to do that again. And then, yeah, so McLeod Racing, and then Total Seal, which is Lake Speed Junior. Really excited to meet with Lake again. Ride Tech Fuel Factory. Now it's going to be interesting. They sell racing fuel. I'd never heard of it before. So I'm going to meet with them, see what we can do. And then Holly Classic Trucks, Brothers Trucks, Classic Instruments, Mr. Gasket, Godric's, and other classic brands. And then we have networking lunch, which last year, the networking lunch is when I got to sit with Steve DeLuch and Freiberger, which was really cool. So, yeah, like they sat at our table, which was baller, right? P1 Manufacturing, Kevin Feeney with P1, we've talked to before. Yeah, really excited to talk to them. So, Mall Motorsports, Mally Mall, MAHLE Motorsports, Snack Break, important one. Sponsored by Blueprint Engines, which we met with them last year because they had that GM 4-cylinder half an LS basically. The like 3.7 liter monster. And it was actually kind of funny because I went there and I was like, yeah, seriously, I mean, I wanted to talk to you guys about this engine. And the guy's like, I wish we would stop talking about that engine because they just took it because they had it and it broke the internet. So it is not Blueprint's business. They didn't really have a lot that they could do with this, so I didn't meet with them this year, just because, you know. And then we have Speedmaster right after that, and we have ACT, so we have Advanced Clutch Technology right after that. Willwood Engineering, Sprecool is next, and that's my day on Wednesday. My day on Thursday is Eaton Performance Products, which is pretty cool because Eaton is so they do differentials is their biggest one, but Eaton is based here in Michigan. They're just down by Marshall, but they have other brands and other products too. So I'm excited for that one to see what it does. Deutschwerks, fuel system stuff. They are a competitor to Aeromotive, but I think it's important. I can stand on Aeromotive, but I can also promote Deutschwerks here because they have quality products. I know people have used their products in the past. I'm okay promoting them for that, finding out what they have for us and stuff like that. And they're a big one that I think could do well in our market. So I want to help bring them in, even if it doesn't, even if I get nothing out of them, if I can help them come into our market, right? And then Driven Racing Oil. The next one is kind of neat. This is their first time coming that I know of. This is actually another Michigan company. It's called Opus IVS. So Opus IVS is called intelligent. The IVS is Intelligent Vehicle Support, and what it looks like. And this is why I'm interested in talking to them, is they have different. They say diagnostics and live services, and it's basically they have different scan tools, and they have some expensive ones, and they have some not expensive ones. So that's kind of why I want to talk to them and go from there. And being a Michigan company, it's one where, you know, if we can do something together, I can go over and I can tour them, right? Now, I am a little sad about that one because I had a meeting with Old World Industries, which was Peak Performance and stuff, which Peak Performance, soft spot in my heart because they sponsored the ad which featured my dad at Speedway Illustrated, right? So I'm actually going to try to get with them and meet with them still, just schedule it outside of these schedule things. So, so I did have to drop the Old World Industries for Opus, but I really want to talk to Opus, and that was the only availability they had. So, yeah, Painless Performance Products. I don't know if they have anything that could really help us, but it's a wiring company and stuff, so it's worth investigating. And then Mother's Polishes. And then we have In-N-Out Burger for lunch. They actually bring like the semi in, which is pretty cool because last year we're going through the line and I'm like, hey, could I get a plain burger? And they're like, huh? Because they're in there just churning out baskets, you know, burgers and fries. And they're like, yeah, just a minute. And so they made me, and actually it was Travis too. We got plain burgers. So we can try to do it again this year. It was good. Like, I like In-N-Out. I wouldn't say it's the best thing ever because most of the people, if you go to In-N-Out, everybody's like, dude, you gotta get it animal style. You gotta get this, right? It's all the extra stuff that they put on that they really like. I don't like all the extra stuff. So it's a good burger. Yeah, right. Hypertech. So Hypertech and the next meeting, Hush Map, are tow rig type of stuff. Just curious if we could do something together. If not, I get it, right? And then Moroso Performance Products. I didn't know it exist. They still make the neon oil pan if people order enough. So shout out to Modern Performance for putting in that group order and selling them. So yeah, I want to talk to them, right? And then Snack Break, and then we have Oracle Lighting. Oracle's one of them that is also a tow rig type of deal, but um, they have headlights, taillights, things like that, like light bars and all of that. Um, I forgot to have that conversation with my dad tonight. So they don't make headlights or taillights for my van. They make some headlights and taillights for that would fit my dad's truck. And I don't know if he wants them, but it's one where I might be like, hey, I can make a video. We can feature these, right? I'm gonna pull them up. So that's half the reason why we are um, live. Both of them is because I'm using my uh, laptop here so that I can actually show you guys uh, a couple things, right? So we're gonna pull up my dad's truck here. I don't know if my dad would want this, but actually they have two different ones. So I'll show you guys the fancier one, right? Um, roll over here. I don't know if I can. Dad says he's in. He hasn't seen them yet, so I don't know about that. You're it. um, they are um, LED, but they are like color shift and stuff like that. So they have the headlight itself, but you can get the like color stuff. So yeah. Now this is also one. To be honest, I have no expectations of getting much from Oracle. Okay. Um, Again, the race car stuff. I think it would be kind of neat to throw because they also have like underglows and stuff like that. I think it'd be kind of neat to have something to maybe put under the race car, definitely for under the van and maybe under the trailer, right? I think that I grew up. I was a sophomore in high school when Fast and the Furious came out. So if you think for a second that that is not who I am, is you know, I am an underglow kind of guy. Okay. I took my graduation money and bought a set of red underglows for my 1979 Mercury Zephyr, right? I mean, we're not gonna bro truck it out, right? Okay. But like Oracle, you can go, which the other part of this so these were the headlights for Dad's truck. And then they have like the tailgate bar and stuff like that, right? And then the under like the truck bed lights. Okay. They also, I think they had um, yeah, we can get him tail lights too, right? And we have, I don't know if these do as much, but these are like the Raptor look. So they have like that. Oh, I mean, we're talking if we were to update the lights in Dad's truck, front, rear, I mean, we're talking $1,000 worth of lights for headlights and taillights. So I'm not sure that they're going to go for that. You know what I mean? But the other thing that Oracle has, and like I said, this is just stuff that I kind of think is neat. They have like the new stuff you can get, the Halo kits, but like the universal stuff for me, they have underglow Rockwell lights, if you wanted the color shift rings for your big rims, like this stuff. They have the light bars and that, like those are the kind of things that I'm more interested in that we can put on the tow rig. And then, like I said, the underbody kits. And if we can work something out, awesome. If not, hey, thanks for meeting with me. You know. So Dan says he's in. So yeah, so there we go. But yeah, that's the thing is that's what, like, Oracle's one that I said, hey, if they want to meet with me, cool. And we'll see. We'll see if they want to do something. If they don't, I understand, right? And then I have Aviad, which I met with last year. I kind of want to meet with them again because they are oiling solutions. So their big thing is dry sumps, but we started to have a conversation last year that was about some wet sump stuff. So this one that I want to have another conversation with. And then we have Aeromotive, and then we have Messery Enterprises to end the show. Those are the companies that I have that are definitely meeting with me. So I'm excited for all of that. And then the other kind of neat things is that we have a um, I'm going to get to go this year. Last year I wasn't there in time. This year I will be. Is that we're going to have a welcome reception. Apparently it's at Golden Road Brewery, which I need to figure out how far away that is. But basically, it's like a big car show, but everybody's kind of hangs out before the whole thing, so it's a networking type of thing. And then I play the dice game, and I gotta remember the rules. I'm gonna try to really remember them because it's actually kind of a fun game. But a bunch of people, companies, and um, creators play this game at night. And it's a great way to meet some of these guys and talk with them and really let them know, get to know you more. But it's a lot of fun. He's Everybody just kind of hangs out, and that's where a couple of the relationships that I got last year, some of the people I've talked to, it's where I hung out with Alex Taylor. The first night sat right next to her, which Alex Taylor is a big YouTuber who's gone on to do some really cool things. She's got some Motor Trend shows and some stuff like that. Big personality. I mean, her followers are in the millions, and I hung out with her. Right, went and seen her at PRI, and she remembered me. So I would say she was remembering by my name, but I was wearing a name tag. So right, but yeah, she remembered me. Remembered hanging out, playing the nice game. She remembered the sticker I gave her. So I keep looking on YouTube channel, just waiting to see it. So I haven't put it on anything. It's actually at this part in this toolbox or who whatever. So uh, Mazir is how you pronounce that company. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's just Jesse from the Fast and Furious challenging all the big Swedish guys in this community race. First off, I'm kind of like Jesse, but I wouldn't challenge. Like I wouldn't arrange Johnny Train. So I'm like the Jesse that lives. Also, I wouldn't be a Ben in a VW. Well, the VW is pretty sweet, right? Um, yeah, dude, the dice game is so much fun to get to hang out with. I can't. Oh God, I can't remember the guy's name. The one dude that we were hanging out with, he's been the host of a lot of shows, and it's kind of cool because I'm like, this is gonna sound so mean. I'm like, but like, I know you. Like, I know I've watched a lot of your work, but like, I can't in my head. And he's like, well, was it this or this or this? And I was like, that was this. And like, I've watched a bunch of his shows. Before I can't remember his name now either. But also, cool guy. I mean, these are guys and gals who've been in this game a lot longer than me, a much bigger following me. And like, I learned a lot, right? Uh, so going out there, talking to these companies, hell, even letting some of these other creators know that we exist, right, is really big for the sport. Well, I'm not going to BS you guys and tell you that this whole thing is for that. Gosh, nothing out of this. This is all. It's all about you guys. It's all for you guys. Nah. And I'm going to California, middle of winter, right? I get to go rub shoulders with, you know, like Freiberger, Alex Taylor, Trash Black, right? Um, I get to meet with these big companies who know who we are, that a few of them are going to send me products, right? This is awesome. This is some bucket list shit that I never would have imagined. Um, Never would have imagined. Right? I get to be interviewed. I don't know if they're gonna use my footage, right? But maybe not. But like, I get to be interviewed for a commercial through SEMA because of doing this. Because MPMC, I got to go be invited to drive the go kart at PRI, right? Um, it's like there are people within the SEMA organization who know my name, who know front discussion, right? It's on a personal level. It's awesome, and I have all of you to thank for this. Like, if you guys didn't tune in, if you weren't the rabid fan base, like it's almost 1 in the morning and there's still like 10 of you here. Just crazy, right? Um, the first few shows I did, by the way, this was a this was like 8, 10 viewers with a high count. That was a good show, right? Um, this is awesome, and it's because of you guys and gals. So I do my absolute best to represent self and all of you as best as possible. But I definitely don't. Like, it's not lost on me, you know. Um, it's not lost on me at all. So I'm really excited to see this for me. This is an event that I want to go to every year. Right. This year is going to be very interesting because last year I had no expectations. Actually, so fun story. I was actually talking to some guys at PRI who are involved with this. So Tim, who took over at Aeromotive for their social media stuff, and talking to him when I met with him at PRI, I had realized that I'd missed an email from him when he took over. Um, and I replied to it, and it had been a long time, right? And again, Aeromotive sent me stuff, um, like, and I was pretty worried because I was not able to deliver for Aeromotive like I thought it would this year. The project I was working on didn't get done, right? So I was nervous. I'm gonna go to this meeting with a new social media guy, you know, and part of the thing with all of these companies is that, you know, Aeromotive, I signed an agreement with them, like a binding contract that if I did not deliver, that Aeromotive could make me pay full retail price for every product that they sent me. Right? They could look at my body of work and they could say, "Hey, you knew you were supposed to, base, right?" And it'd be well within the rights. I would not have blamed them. I wouldn't have told you guys about it, but I wouldn't have dogged them at all. I'd continue to use your products, continue to go. Okay. This last year for me hasn't been what I wanted it to be as far as content, some other stuff, right? So went into the booth and said, "Hey, you know, I'm just looking for Tim," and I found Tim and shook his hand, introduced who I was, and he's like, "Oh," he's like, "Hey," you know, and we got to talking, and he goes, "Come over here and sit down." And so we sat and talked for like 35 minutes, and it was because Tim is also involved with MPMC in this event, and I just explained like, "Hey, man, this is why, and I'm behind," and Tim's like, "No big deal." It's like stuff happens, man. Awesome, right? That's the gist of it. Okay. And then he was asking me about MPMC, and he was asking me about the conference and what I thought about it and SEMA and all of that. And I told him how, like, you know, he's like, "Well, if you could give some constructive criticism, well, what would it be?" And I was like, honestly, I said, I love the event. Like, I love the format of it, going room to room. I love how every, you know, almost every room I went into, I didn't walk into a single room last year. I didn't feel like I had their attention where, you know, I wasn't treated with respect. You know, like I was treated like I was a much bigger creator in a much bigger space, right? So, but I'm like, the negative that I have is like I had no idea what to expect. I'm like, I got there and I had a pretty detailed plan of what I was thinking of last year. Like, here's kind of the spiel I'm gonna give. You know, here's like the information I want to present. This is what I want to do, and I've done my research, same as I have already this year. this is what these companies do. These are the products that we could use, stuff like that, right? And I actually sat down with Carl Fredrickson last year. I messaged him like, "Hey, are you here? Like, could I get like 20 minutes of your time just to kind of go over what I'm going to say?" And if I hadn't done that with him, I would have walked into my first meeting blind, right? Which was actually kind of cool because I walked in, I was like, "Hey, like this is my first time ever here. It's my first time ever doing this. I didn't know this existed until like 3 months ago, which is awesome. They treated me with a ton of respect, right?" But actually, who was that last year? I'm gonna look at my schedule from last year. Um, but but I told him like, "Hey, like the thing that I um, don't know about, right, is like I had absolutely no idea what to expect, like what to do, you know, and there was nothing that I could find basically on that. Like I couldn't tell you where um this shouldn't bother me like it is. um but I just said, like there was no real information, there was no real, like I didn't know what to expect, like what was coming in or anything like that. And so it was hard as a first timer. I don't know any of the other, like I know the Speedway Illustrated guys, but like I didn't know, right? Um, I had given that feedback last year to Juan, which Juan is like huge in SEMA. He's important in SEMA. But I met with him, SEMA PRI at MPMC last year. Um, and I just had said that, like, yeah, if it wasn't for Carl, which Carl's been going for like 20 years, right? So, but I just explained, like, without Carl's guidance, like, I would have had no idea. Like, so if somebody had turned me on to this or I stumbled on it or I went, like, there was nothing, there was no welcoming, like, this is what to expect. Like, this is a mock meeting. This is a, stuff like this. And they actually took that advice. I was the really like the only one who gave it. They took my advice. Um, and this year, any creator who's new, they have a different like welcome packet of a, like what to expect. Here's what to do, kind of a allowed, not allowed kind of thing, um, based off my advice. So that's really cool. Like, really cool. So it's kind of rambling at this point. I'm excited for this. I'm really, really excited to go. Um, One thing that I try to do with all these corporations, these companies, is I try to get somebody from their company to come on and talk to help give us technical. That's why last year we got Lake Speed on multiple times. That's why we had Brett from Aeromotive. It's why we had these interviews and stuff like that. It's because of the show and being able to get them on. And that's the stuff we're going to continue to do. So, be honest with you guys, we're going to work for some discount codes. We're going to work for some giveaway stuff, things like that. So, what are the plan? If I listed off any of those companies and you have something kind of specific that you'd like either some information on or you think I should check out from them or something, shoot me a message. Let me know. And I will try to do exactly that. So, yeah. Before I go rambling on for a lot longer, probably going to call it a night tonight unless you guys have any questions. I do want to thank you all, truly. If you didn't watch, I would have stopped doing this a long time ago. I would be where I'm at now. So, this is really, really cool for me. And it's all because of you guys. So, I tell you, I love y'all. I mean, I cannot thank you all enough for being here, for all the likes, the shares, the comments, the interactions, the watching at any point. I appreciate you guys. So I'm going to sign off here, but I want to thank you all tremendously. Yeah. I'm going to try to go live before we take off again. I got to go live with subscribers. We're supposed to do that today. And I got caught up in stuff. I had to get that truck in my garage, and yeah, well, I'll talk about the subscriber. We will be live in the subscriber in the next day or two. Yeah, and we're gonna film. You guys will see videos of this trip probably during this trip, so might be some short ones, but we're gonna do it. So thank y'all for being here. We're gonna see you again real soon.